What's up YouTube, this is Harvey 1997 here, coming out today with an updated deck profile for Deskbots. I was going through some of my old deck profiles in my playlists, and I noticed that I had not actually updated Deskbots since last summer. Been like 9 or 10 months, something like that. But yeah, I actually updated this with Symphonic Warriors back when they got released in Raging Tempest. So yeah, let's go over the deck profile for that since it's kind of long overdue. Alright, and do note, this is made to be very budget friendly. So there are some things, it's not perfectly optimized, I guess. For example, if I had Ghost Ashes for this, or Ash Blossoms rather, I'd be playing them. So on and so forth like that. I also am not running Raigeki in the main. I do own them, however, partially due to budget constraints because I'm trying to keep this as a very budget friendly deck for you guys. As well as Raigeki doesn't work as good as some other cards for reasons I will get into in the deck profile. So, let's get into it. Starting with the Deskbots. We have two Deskbot 1, and he's the only one that we run 2 of. The rest we're going to be running 3 of, being Deskbot 2, Deskbot 3, Deskbot 4, Deskbot 5, and Deskbot 6. I am not running 7 or 8 in this build, mainly because I want to be able to pendulum summon them back, and they don't really, I don't know. You can't pendulum summon level 7s or 8s when you have this guy in the scale, and he's the one you want in your scale. So, yeah, they don't really help that, and they also, they're just kind of big beat sticks, and I want this to be very combo-oriented. So they don't really progress your game state necessarily. They're nice to have, but they don't really do anything on their own. And they can also be kind of bricky, so I cut them. Also the 2 ones, because for one I run 1 for 1 in the deck, and above that I also just like having 2 copies so that if one gets banished somehow, because we're in a very banish heavy format with things like Whiptail, DD Crow, things like that being very prevalent. So yeah, if one gets banished, it sucks. So it can really be bad to draw into multiple ones, but hey, it happens. Alright, next up we're running 3 Symphonic Warrior mics and 3 Symphonic Warrior guitar. These are the only Symphonic Warriors in the deck. Some people might argue it's not actually playing Symphonic Warriors, but I beg to differ, as these things change so many things that this deck can really do. For example, with guitar, what it does is you can discard a card to special summon 1 Symphonic Warrior from your deck except itself. In other words, you summon mics. So you place this in the scale, discard anything, preferably Deskbot 1 if you have it, or any Deskbot that you think you're going to bring back with any other effect. And then you get to summon this. When you summon mics, it's not only a 2300 beater, but it's also a level 5 machine, hint hint Cyber Dragon Nova into infinity. But also, you get an additional normal summon in the turn that you normal summon or special summon mics. So you get 2 normal summons, so you can do wombo combos like, let's say you did guitars into mics. You can do something along the lines of normal 3, special 2. On 2's effect, you'll get to add another 3 to your hand. Then you can normal summon that 3 and special summon another 2, which will get you your Deskbot 6 and complete your scales. Very, very easy combos. And yeah, these things just add so much power to the deck. They're just ridiculous. Now for the non-Deskbot, non-Symphonic Warrior monsters. Gen X Ally Birdman. It's actually really, really good in this build too, because you can do things like you can bounce mics back to your hand and then place it in the scale after searching it from guitar. You can I don't know, you can do a lot of things like that. You can like normal summon a 3, on 3 summon, special summon like a 2 or something like that, just to get a free search. Then you can use Birdman to like scoop up the 3 and summon like for, you know, just to have back in your hand. And then you can like, if you can get another way to normal summon this, bring it back and make like a level 5. Or rather you could bounce 2, summon this, make like a charge warrior or something like that for a free draw. Birdman is just really good. He does a lot of things for the deck. Run 1 copy of Max C because it's Max C, and this is very budget friendly now. And I'm also running a Kaiju engine, being Gameciel, Cumulus, and Jizukiru. Along with those Kaijus, I'm also running 2 Kaiju Slumber. Now this is what I was talking about earlier when I said better than Raigeki, because if you want to resolve Deskbot 4's effect, which is very, very crucial. Your opponent needs to have a monster on their board. Using Kaijus and or Kaiju Slumber to out their monsters will leave them with a monster on the board, so you can still attack over something. It is also noteworthy in this build that Deskbot 6 is the largest attack Deskbot, so without any other power-ups, Deskbot 4's maximum attack point value is 3,500. Unfortunately, you can't cheese Chaos Max players with this one, because we don't have 7 or 8 in here. But if you have any power-up whatsoever, you can still do that. Alright, so yeah, Kaijus, because they're Kaijus, they're good. And as I said, they leave your opponent with stuff on the board. 3 machine duplication. Should I really need to clarify why this is in here? If you know anything about Deskbots at all, you know that this card is the absolute nuts in Deskbots. Plain and simple. 1 instant fusion. I'll get to the target later. It is not Norden. This is the June 12th list. So, 1 for 1, like I mentioned earlier, just to get Deskbot 1 faster. Soul Charge for all of your Wombo combos. 3 copies of Twin Twister, because this deck does not like Solemn Strike in the slightest. And you can also do cool things like pop your own 5 and or 6 on your turn to recycle stuff. And you have discards that you want engraved sometimes, like Deskbot 1, or just other things that you like. It was a really, really, really bad hand, will not lie. But I did have a hand consisting of Deskbot 5, Deskbot 2, and Twin Twisters. The other 2 cards, they didn't, they were just, I guess, filler for this combo. But basically what I wound up having to do going first is pretty ugly. I lost the die roll and he wanted to go second. Surprising, right? Yeah, he went, I put 5 in the scale, had to discard 2 for Twin Twisters and pop 5. But Honest Destruction and got to bring back 2. Off of that, I searched 3, normal summon 3, and just kind of kept going from there. It's not a great play, but it's something you're able to do. And then 40th card is Upstart, because we like to play 39 cards and not 40. Alright, that is it for the main deck, and if it wasn't apparent by what I just said, it's 40. So we'll start off with the Synchros. Going down from high levels to low levels, we start off with Deskbot Jet. This thing is nuts, and it's even easier to get out with some added cards from Raging Tempest. Also note that Mike's plus, actually I'll just show it right now. Our instant fusion target is Sea Monster of Theseus. I was considering like Panzer Dragon to help make Nova, but any time that I'd be able to make Cyber Dragon Nova with a Panzer Dragon and a level 5, I would be just as able to synchro that monster with Theseus to make Deskbot Jet, and that is such a better play. Just, this thing is insane. So being able to make it is really good. It's easier than ever with Theseus in the deck. So, yeah, 1 Deskbot Jet, because you don't really need more than that. 1 Trishula. Trishula is good. 1 Ignister for our level 8. Do note that you can't do something like Theseus and Deskbot 3 to make this, because it is a level 8 that requires a non-tuner pendulum, so you can't actually do that. Your only way of making it is with Genax Ally Birdman and a level 5, but that actually comes up fairly frequently, and this card is such a blowout that it's worth it anyway, in my opinion. If you really wanted to, you could replace it with like Scrap Dragon or something, but it's just not the same. Also, Psyframe Lord Omega is a good option, but again, this is a budget deck, so no Omegas. 1 Meteor Burst Dragon, because it can special summon something out of your pen zone, which can be something like a Deskbot 5 to extend combos. You could also special summon like one of your Symphonic Warriors. It's just a very well-rounded card. It's, as I said, it's like a combo extender. It's really good. Also, the preventing your opponent's monsters from activating effects in the battle phase is just icing on the cake. 1 Black Rose, because board nukes are always going to be good. Stardust Charge Warrior to get a free draw. Metaphys Horus, because we have ways of activating both of its effects involving effect monsters and pendulum monsters, and both of those are pretty good. 1 Barkion, because negating traps is cool. 1 Naturia Beast, because negating spells is cool. and 1 Crystron Amatrix. This is actually a newer addition to the deck. I was previously running Ally of Justice Catastor, but I really like this card in here. Because what it does, when it's synchro summoned, you can change all of your opponent's special summoned monsters to defense position. Which, although they're going to be in defense and you can't do a bunch of battle damage, it makes things generally easier to run over, which is good for things like Deskbot 4. Above that, if it wasn't clear already, its main purpose is just to be a level 5 machine for Cyber Dragon Nova into Infinity. But above that, it's got 2500 attack to it, and it's just a much better card than I thought Catastor was. Note, you could replace this with High Speed Roy Chambara if you really wanted to, but once again, I'm trying to keep this budget friendly, so Amatrix was my pick. Lastly, the Exeses. 1 Phantom Knights of Cursed Javelin. This is a new one to the list. I was playing Sky Cavalry in here, but I really like what this card offers. It doesn't not do anything turn 1, unfortunately, but you typically want to go second anyway. So what it can do is, it's an Exese with 2 level 2s. You can detach a material from it to target an opponent's monster, then until the end of the turn, its attack becomes 0 and its effects are negated. You can't, it's not chainable because you don't have a Phantom Knight card to attach to it, but still, even with it being an ignition effect, that's insane. Because, you know, if you put something down to like 0 attack in Deskbots, you can go in and make easy damage just for free. This thing just enables so many easy OTKs. I'm not running any rank 4s in here, or not rank 4s, sorry, rank 3s. As our only level 3s are Deskbot 3 and Symphonic Warrior guitars, and typically I like those to be like used for other purposes. Like 3 I like to just keep on the field, and guitars, if I really have it, I'll probably just keep, like in the monster zone, I'll probably just keep it like as a recurring floater, because it's just, there aren't really any rank 3s that are worth it in my opinion. Break Sword maybe, and that'd be actually pretty good because you could like pop your pendulum stuff to keep combos going, but for 1, budget, and 2, I just don't really like to play anyway. So. 1 Gear Gigant X for our only rank 4. I was having Castell in here, but I cut it because I never really made it. And then our last Exeses, Cyber Dragon Nova and Cyber Dragon Infinity for the rank 5. And technically rank 6, but you'll never make it like a rank 6. No one has ever done that, ever. Except with like maybe UFO Roid Turbo, but that's bad. So. Yeah, so that's going to do it for the deck profile, guys. You tell me in the comment section below what you thought about it. As I said, this deck has gone through a lot of changes in the previous months. I haven't been playing it a ton. You probably noticed most of my deck profiles lately have been Metal Foes, but it's just such a splashable engine that's been taking up a majority of my decks lately. Metal Foes and Zodiac both, but yeah, this is still a lot of fun. If you do play Symphonic Warrior Deskbots, or really any variant of Deskbots, I guess, note that it's very important to know your deck. That sounds like common sense, but this deck, it holds so true, like more than any other, or just about, because the combos, you just have to know them very well. It's very easy to misplay. But this deck, also not very many people know what it does, so you can get a lot of free wins off of people not reading cards too. Alright, so as I said, you guys tell me in the comment section below what you think about this deck. As always, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for all my future content, and I'll catch you in my next video.